Hey, welcome back to Happy Little No Trees. I'm your host, Greg, and today we're going to be talking about a really cool workflow hack. If you're a person that likes to manage your clips around in your project in groups and use post groups and things like that, this is the video for you because this deals with something that kind of gets around some of the limitations of Resolve. It's a hack that I picked up from another colorist that told me about it from another colorist, so it's kind of just being a hand-me-down little hack here. But the thing is, we're looking at my look level of shots and everything like that right here. And so you can see we have my shot level, my trims, and then my look level. I'm not managing in groups yet, but I manage in all my color management is done in nodes. I don't do it through the project settings because I like to use either my proprietary like Technicolor DRT or Photochemist or OpenDRT are my three top display transforms, which require color managing in nodes. It'd be cool if you could. It would be cool if Resolve lets you do all the input transforms automatically, like you do with the project-based color management, but they don't. But there is a way to get around with it. So normally, after setting up my basic node tree, I'd have to go to the shot level, and we would go get a CST somewhere in here. Color space transform. We'd put it all at the beginning because we're managing in nodes here. And setting that up. This was black magic. Something like that. And then we'll just go with that and see if that works. There's so many random black magic things. I work in linear, so we kind of have to hit up in linear like this, turn that off. And there is our CST. Usually, and our image is resolved. It looks great. Here's the thing, that is now my first node of my tree. But we can look, and we can see here that we have a bunch of clips that are the same. We have this one in the bathtub, we have this one here. So all these clips are relatively the same. And what we can do is we can select them, we could group them and make them into a group. That's what Resolve does. And that's a really cool thing. We can go add into new group, call this the BMD clips. And so we're grouping it by, these are all shot by the same camera. And that will give us in here, we can turn this off so you can see it over here. This now gives us options of pre-clip, post-clip, and the clip level, look level. This is a nice, interesting feature. But we go here, clean up node graph. Where are you, node? Right there. Nothing's going on, nothing's happening, but what we can do at the shot level of this one, in fact, is just copy paste this and go back to the pre-clip and put it in there. And now you're gonna be like, oh man, that's all janked up. But if we go to the other shots in our timeline right here, bam, 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 what we have is they are resolved because they're using this group pre-clip. And what we'd have to do here is, because this is where we started, we go back to the shot level and turn off this first node. Now, I work in linear, and so that's why we're going into linear for the entire workflow. So the question here is, do we need to deal with group management? Well, I can't, if this is where I am working with my footage, right now, my first node is locked. And this is what my footage is coming into my node tree, and I need to get it into linear. And so I'm grouping all my shots by group, by camera, so that they all can have the same color space transform. Now, among all the shots from that one camera, they could be different scenes, they could have different things. I can't really reuse the pre-clip section of Resolve for things that would differentiate different scenes from the same camera. Does that make sense? The first node is locked, and I can't be like, you can't make subgroups of subgroups, which would be really cool if you could be like, here is a subgroup of this group. That would be amazing. I would love that feature in Resolve. So if anyone is listening, put that out there. So when you group by camera in this way with the limitations that Resolve has, you're kind of stuck with what it offers. Now, here is something we can do really cool. We're going to move this transform off the node tree. Now, if you do color-based project management, that kind of happens in the background. but you don't have access to using custom DRTs then. Frustrating. So but there is a trick, and that's why there's the link in the description. It'll download. It's a pack of IDTs of common cameras that take you from either their camera encoded log state to intermediate or their log encoded state to linear. And what you can do is there is this interesting way that before your clip ever makes it to the color page, you can access DCTLs. So the difference, and we'll cover that in a second, but let's just show you how this works. I'll turn this back on so you can see more of my GUI. We have these 3 shots again. We've grouped them, so they all have the same pre-clip group right there. And one of the things that we can do is, if you go down here, you can see there's some settings. Oops, it is. Why is that not showing up? Oh my goodness. I should have tested this. Let's change this on window capture. I want display capture. See if that works. And now you can see it. There we go. So when you right click on a clip in your node graph, there's options to get to your LUTs. Now this LUT, or you generate LUTs, that's cool too. But LUTs lets you go into, and if you don't know, when you load in LUTs into DaVinci Resolve, they all go to the same place. Like your LUT folder is filled with all your DCTLs, along with anything that you label as a LUT. And this only really works if you got Resolve Studio, so mind that as well. But I have a folder here. This is what I downloaded from myself and installed, log to intermediate and log to linear. Now, we could just say, I know this is black magic. I should get that in there. Because I'm going to add more of these to it so you can get this initial package. Log to linear, so we could say it's already in DaVinci Right Intermediate, which is normally if you were debayering it and stuff like that. But we're going to go with, just for giggles and whatnot, we're going to go from array log C, because I actually don't remember what this clip is from. And we're going to apply that LUT here. So you can see here is the log to intermediate. We're actually going to go log to linear because that's what we're working in. So we're going to go array log C3. And then just for giggles and comparison's sake, we'll go back to array log wide gamut. Array wide gamut. So these DCTLs that you're downloading do not affect your color space, just to be aware. They are only affecting your input and output gamma. And you can see this looks all janky, and all of our shots look janky. These ones look fine. They're using the same preclip. If we turn the preclip off, bam, we're back to a normal image. We don't have to use that at all. What we did was, oh, you can't see my image. It looks good like this. Let's just let you see my image for a second. What you can see here is when we turn that on, that's doubling up our input transform. But we're using this DCTL, and we can say no, turn that off, and whatnot. And we turned off the LUT down there. But if we bring it back in, and you can see I'm going to find it again, log to linear, put it back in, and we turn off that input transform, we're back to the same image. But all of these will be off. So in our timeline of our clips, we can select all the clips like we would if we were making groups and say, I don't want to make them into a group yet. I want to just apply a LUT. And I'm going to apply that log to linear LUT to all of them. So array log C3. And now all of these are grouped by using the same input transform as a LUT. Now, that is how we have now moved our transform off the pre-clip stage. So that frees up the pre-clip stage from being locked as the first thing it does is group everything by camera, to now you can have, instead of having multiple groups of this camera, you can technically have scene-based grouping. You can go, this is from this scene and this is from a day to night scene, all kinds of things. You have the freedom now to not be tied to the first node being the camera node. And it looks like when you're loading it in that it's a LUT, but it's a DCTL. So it's a mathematical transform of all your pixels. It's exactly the same process that the CST is going through, whereas a LUT would be interpolated and have some lossiness to it, whereas the DCTL is straight math on every pixel, same as what the CST does. And now, once that's set up in that way, you can group and make your groups work any way you want. You don't have to worry about, oh, now I have an airy camera for day, or I have airy camera for night, and now I got two groups that are airy, and all that malarkey and how to do groups, and it gets confuddled. You can just go by however you want, because you've stripped that initial step out of the process, and you've gone in the way of saying, I want to manage in nodes, but I'm saying manage in nodes here in a system that Resolve opens up, which is kind of why it's a hack, that you can access the LUTs and you can access DCTLs and LUTs. And so these are really simple DCTLs. You can open them up. They're just the basic transforms, so you can see how they're made and everything like that. So hopefully this is something helpful for you. They are called the IDT LUT Loaders on my website. There are other places. I think Thatcher Freeman on GitHub has a bunch of IDTs as well that you can get. I'll have a link to his GitHub as well. I'm not 100% sure what they all transform into. I try to remain in camera primaries, so these do not affect your camera primaries. And you can see how they crack it open and look at how they're built and things like that. Very simple. It's just three numbers, really, multiplying numbers by numbers to make a log curve turn into a straight line, because lines are straight. Anyways, this is where you would put it in the folder, just in your locations. You can see I have mine installed down below, right there. But anyways, enjoy. And yeah, if you're hanging around for a second, I got maybe 2 more minutes. Coming in, one of the next videos I'm going to do is going to be actually about a tool that you can get if you're a happy little noder. So I have a bunch of free tools, but then I also sell some of my more premium ones. But they're all, like, it's ridiculously priced at one price for all the tools, because I'm too lazy to try to market everything as an individual tool. But what we'll be looking at in an upcoming video, I think Friday, not sure. If anything, the video will pop up at the end of this video when that video is released. But what it is a whole suite of look dev tools, and we're going to break it all down from talking about hue remix, saturation, density, simple contrast, split tone, and I have in the bundle OpenDRT. OpenDRT is free. You can get that. I'll have that link somewhere down below, but you can get OpenDRT for free. But I have it packaged up as a single super bundle of tools that you can access to create this little look dev node tree that kind of breaks down the process of look dev. So anyways, look forward to that video. And if anything, leave a comment about what IDTs you would like to have included if I didn't include one yet, or different options. I've thought about having it where it does change the camera primaries. I'm a little wishy-washy on that. This was just an initial set to get going. And if you like this, please share it. But also leave a comment. Let me know what else you'd like to see on the channel, and boop the like button and do those other YouTubey things. But the video about look dev should show up here when that video is released. So enjoy. Controls.